Hello, hello, beautiful people. How we doing? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, right? I'm not tripping. Yeah, Thursday. How you guys doing? Welcome, welcome. Welcome in to the PM session event with the Lab Live. Happy to have you guys here. Very happy to have you guys here. Let some people kind of get comfy in here and then we will kick things off. And we could talk about the day that I've had. I think you guys will find it quite funny, to be honest. It might even get funnier, TBH. Um, but yeah, happy to be back. Was working the past few days, so beginning of the week was not feasible for me to trade so much. So I'm happy to be back. Little bit um, not upset, kind of like annoyed that like the market was so gross, and now it's just cleaning up. And we've had like the cleanest week, in my opinion, and I missed most of it. So it kind of stinks in that regard. But what do you do? What do you do when you live in a shoe? But yeah, welcome in, guys. We're going to be doing the PM session today until about 4 o'clock Eastern, give or take. Might do, sometimes we cut, 10, 15 minutes early if nothing's going on, but plenty of time to chop it up, read some price, discuss all things trading, learn a thing or two, and just kind of, vibe out. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to help with whatever I can. If I can't help you, I'm sure we'll be able to get your question answered eventually. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about today. So the morning was more or less uh pretty clean buys, if I might say so myself. Um, However, I did not get long, and that I think we'll go through it. It's actually a good chance for me to reflect and journal because I kind of finished my trade. I was short in the morning, finished my trade, and then I went off to the gym before so I could be done before the stream starts. So we'll talk a little bit about kind of the morning recap, and you guys can kind of see how I look at things. So um, going into the morning, let me hide floating meeting controls. There we go. Okay. So going into the morning, what I noticed is that we actually had some very nice London high SMT with, I believe it was with YM, if it'll show. Yeah, with YM. So, and we had a large hourly breaker block confirmed with projections down into here inside of this fair value gap, which was also kind of nicely in, more of a discount area. Not that the discount mattered. The standard deviations told me what I needed to see. And I'll also mark this fella out too. Actually, no. So I was short in the morning prior to 9:30 inside of this hourly fair value gap, and I was just looking for us to get down into this -2 standard deviations here. So I think it was like 270, 275 is what it was on the micro. And everything was great. It missed my take profit by like it was like 3 ticks, I think, on the micro. There's 3 ticks. Um, and the way that the reversal kind of set itself up, I didn't flip. I didn't close early. Um, Realistically, I could have closed um, early once I saw us form this PM low SMT with YM. But admittedly, I was not watching the mini when that occurred because we didn't have a breaker down here. So I was anticipating 10 to sweep 9 o'clock's low and kind of get like a, you know, breaker block form that way. It's kind of what I was anticipating. Let me turn my headset off. However, that did not occur. and 10 o'clock just kind of bounced up off of without taking the 9 a.m. low. We had some SMT anyway. And then from there, market just kind of ripped up. So I ended up just going break even, getting taken out break even, which was kind of disappointing. And then I just went on with my day. So barely just missed my TP. I should have just, I mean, in hindsight, of course, you're going to say, like, yeah, don't be a dick for a tick. But truthfully, there was no reason for me to just, click the exit button there when I anticipated that 10 o'clock was going to sweep 9 o'clock's low anyway, and we were likely to get a breaker and then go higher, which is what I wanted to see. But sometimes it just works out that way. Holding your trades, that's sometimes the hard part of holding your trades. Sometimes you get fucked over like that, but is what it is. All I can do is move on to the next trade, right? And speaking of the next trade, I went to the gym and let's see if I'm even still in the trade. I am not. Okay. I think I got kicked out. So after that, we expanded up higher, closing above the 930 high, creating a large 15-minute breaker. And then we had some lunch low SMT right here. I actually bought in here with the lunch low SMT, anticipating that we were going to run to lunch high, because that's just been the play lately. It's been the play lately where we just kind of retrace, form lunch SMT, and then we just expand higher. But today we have, some different things going on. So that is a loss for me, I believe. Yeah. So gonna kind of wait and see. Maybe we get some sort of AM low SMT, or I don't know. We don't really have any sort of SMT other than we have previous hourly low, which could shake some things out. But at the moment, I have nothing. Good evening, Mr. Millet. What's up, Ace? That's brutal. How were your emotions? Has that impacted anything else today for you? I'm not gonna lie and like say that I was fine. I was rattled. I wasn't like pissed off. I was just rattled. Because like most of the time I'm gonna be just like closing out there, but I'm learning to just like hold my trades and like do and just like follow the plan. And like there was nothing really telling me to close out other than emotions. So I'm trying to just like deal with that. And I honestly missed the PM low SMT. Otherwise, I probably would have shaved things off there. But like as far as emotion goes, like the emotions were there. I was rattled. I was just kind of like, okay, of course we're getting that. Of course that's gonna happen. Of course it's gonna happen. So I kind of just left the charts, I guess. I didn't really get any urges to like flip or anything like that, but to flip or like buy my stop or do whatever. I just kind of went to the gym. And then I saw this lunch low SMT play and like I liked it. So I took it and like yeah, that's it. It's kind of so I'd say I handled it quite well. It's annoying because like today definitely could have been different if I had just paid a little more attention, but I'm going to give myself the grace that I need to kind of be able to just, move past it. But yeah, shorts just I've tried shorting in environments like this where like we're just like up only and it's just not great. Like so I should have maybe known better that way, that like just take what you can get. But yeah. Don't have anything else other than just like just is what it is, I'm not gonna just let the market, fuck with my emotions like that and let me run into a situation where I'm making decisions that like I normally wouldn't make just due to circumstance. It's good to practice that, to exercise that muscle of just like being given a bad situation or a bad outcome. Well, not a bad outcome, an unfavorable outcome. And being able to just like, okay, what can I do right now to kind of, you know, move forward with this and not let it become a detriment. Um, that lunch play was so nice, and as you said, every day has just been bye bye bye. Just rock with that until we're proven otherwise. Yeah, exactly. Um, if I was around this week, I would be I'd be ecstatic because like there were so many good opportunities for buys. Yesterday for me, honestly, was a little tricky. Like I don't know if I would have been able to get in at 9:45 or 9:30 because like it was weird. I don't think we have anything going on here, but um, let me go back because like at 9:30 we didn't create any. I don't think we had any SMT. We had like the hourly low. But then we had PM low SMT with YM. We've been having weird SMTs like this. It happened today too, where like NQ is already making its move higher and YM is like lagging and taking its liquidity. So it's like you have that large like difference in correlation where like YM is the weakest, NQ is the strongest, which is normal. From there, NQ created its breaker block. So like could have got in at continuations at 10, tagging into that breaker with a stop kind of down in here somewhere, or like just trade a continuation. But yeah, I don't know if it would have been tricky. It was there for sure. The stop, I mean, you're obviously not going to put your stop at PM low. You're not going to put it at the 630 low because that is a massive stop. And like I think you'll be told you're wrong long before it gets down there. I think you could have maybe put it at like this 930 low or this 815 low, kind of the low of the breaker. Yeah. This would have been like your, you could have done this. Definitely could have done that. Which is also, yeah, the 1 minute breaker low, which is totally fair. And then standard deviations of that, mark those bad boys out. Then I think we just missed -2 standard deviations. No, tags it. And then the second play that we could have had was this play right here, AM low SMT, NQ retracing into this fair value gap. From there, then you just have a 1 minute breaker and you take those projections and you just run it back to the the lunch high, sorry, up to there. And then you would have had I think you would have hit -2 or close to it. Yeah. So that was the other clean play. That one to me was really nice. But as I said earlier, I wasn't there for it. So I wasn't there for any of it this week. But what do you do? Can't do nothing about it. I don't anticipate that the market is just going to all of a sudden get really messy now that I'm back. I think we're going to be like we're fine. But I wish I definitely would have capitalized more on this buy up, because damn, is it nice. Super duper nice. This would have met well into, yeah. About the only thing that I did right. The only thing I did right with this is I bought like my long-term port. I was buying down here. Not on NQ. Um, I buy the S&P for my long term, but well, one of the ETFs I buy is S&P. All I could hear was Tenny screaming, "This trade is a fucking layup." Yeah, yeah, he's been eating this week. I've been talking to him. He's been eating it up. Love to see that guy win. So, I mean, I'm not shorting this. You couldn't pay me, to be fair. Could have, I guess, like shorted AM high SMT and like um, taken this breaker here, which is also, I think, a 5 minute. Yeah. Could have taken that. That would have been fair for a retracement. But it's also funny, we just missed those highs there. So I imagine we go back for those. The lunch short wasn't bad, but I do think waiting for the retracements for longs was the high prob ideas for the day. Yeah, I agree. Now we're just seeing a little bit of fuckery, which is okay. YM is making its run to the lunch highs, has yet to take the AM highs though. So we're kind of seeing a strength switch here. Maybe it's allowing YM to catch up, which honestly is cool with me. Oops. So let's talk this through. Got the hourly low S&T with ES and YM. Tagging back into the 15-minute breaker from the AM session, nested with a ton of high time frame opening prices. Previous 4-hour closed bullish, failed to close above its highs, failed to also take the liquidity that was resting just right over there. And I believe ES has as well. Failed to take it. Yeah. Okay. So we're trading back into that breaker. The lower time frame play is going to be likely just probably short-term SMT. We need some sort of short-term breaker. Run that low. Something like that. But that's about it. I don't love it either. I would have preferred if we just like maintain this lunch low SMT. Or if one of them could have been heavier, maybe get AM low SMT, but that's pretty far off. We could just go into chop for the rest of the day too. So yeah. Curious to hear your guys' thoughts for the day, or for the remainder of the day, that is. We've had 1, 2, 3 expansion days. These two are kind of the break. Yeah, YM is printing. Complete opposite of NQ at the moment. So again, it's just like a strength switch going on. One of them is lying. I'm gonna lean bullish, of course. Yeah, exactly. That's same thoughts, Bradley. Same thoughts. Oh, you guys want to know what else is funny? It has snowed 40 centimeters so far today. Or it's gonna, by the time mid-afternoon rolls around, we'll have 40 centimeters of snow. Come to Canada. You'll love it. It's also minus 19. Yesterday it was plus 15. So funny because the weather was actually super nice the previous few days. Like it was like plus 17, plus 18, plus 17, plus 18, and then today minus 19. 40 centimeters of snow. For those who don't use centimeters, it's about a foot, almost a foot and a half of snow. So it's super funny because like weather gets nice, you're like, oh my gosh, life's worth living again. It's like you feel that seasonal affective disorder, just like the veil be lifted, and you're just like you have a new lease on life. That's how it is for every Canadian when spring rolls around. And then it just throws us right back into it. So you kind of have to laugh. And then like in 2 days, it's going to be plus 18, plus 21 actually. Monday plus 16, Tuesday 21, Wednesday 21. Yeah. I would gladly take rain over snow. You don't have to shovel rain. But yeah, the inclement weather has been a little bit annoying. What's up, Alex? I live in the wrong country. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, for weather, for sure. God bless you. Use metric system. Yeah, the units of measurement make sense. I kind of use both. Kind of use both. Okay, so NQ is heavy, 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 heavy. But yeah, no shorts for me here. Suppose in the low time frame. That's kind of what it looks like for kind of the barrier for entry in the 1 minute. Need NQ to get some giddy up though. I'll be watching this 1800 Open as well. 1800 Open in 230. It's a deep, deep retracement though. See how it goes. You don't think it'll finish market maker sell model at AM low? I mean, it very well can do what it wants, but I'm not. I wouldn't call it a clean one. That's for sure. I would just call it seek and destroy at that point. There's no. Let's see. Maybe there are some fibs aligning with it, but yeah, it's this breaker here, but that's reason why I don't like it is because like it's trading into a 15-minute breaker with some SMT on PM low, and also there's no bearish breakers on high time frame. This is just like V shape up, create the breaker, then V shape down. If it takes that low, that's just more messy and noisy than anything. That's just creating a range to just kind of run seek and destroy on. But it can kind of do that when it's up high like this, right? When you've had very little retracements to any sort of discount. It's just been like expand, consolidate, expand, consolidate, expand. Now consolidating some more. And as you can see, like at every kind of spot, right? You have, so in this, if we look inside of this range here, you could see mark out the highs and lows. Right? You could see that it kind of like swept out this high, swept out that low, right? So it's kind of like form a low, take a high, run that low, and then go higher. Same thing here, right? Form a high, form a low, run that high, run that low, run higher. kind of what happens when you get a range like that. So now we've got, again, high formed, low formed, high formed. Maybe we run this low and then we go higher again with some AM low SMT. But for shorts, it's not for me. I would gladly welcome the AM low SMT 50-minute breaker to buy it later on, maybe in the Asia session or maybe in a different, maybe tomorrow or London. Now we've got 230 coming. We've got 1800 open right here. We are now deep in discount of the AM expansion. Nothing to do but just kind of chillax and watch from here. We've got our roadmap outlined here. Did you guys catch anything from the morning? Yes, no, maybe so. Oh yeah, I saw you caught YM longs. Had a good trade, should have stopped, gave it all back. Been there, done that. It's a tough lesson to learn. I too have done some silly goose stuff like that. Is this, if this breaker forms, like, I mean, do you just slap it? I presume you do. Still got hourly low S&T. Everything's moving up. Unless it wants to go form a new breaker with a 1430 sweep, tap in 1800. That can happen too, but I mean, this can just be the hourly forming a nice manipulation, tagging this 11 o'clock devil's mark. Just ripping higher. I'm not going to get cheeky with that IFVG, but technically it's nested with the breaker by a C hair. Standard deviations line up right with that lunch high. Yeah. See what happens. If you close above this breaker, I mean, I'll take a shot. Ain't scared. There's the IFVG created. We're getting a nice kind of aggressive down, aggressive up here. Whenever I say aggressive down, aggressive up, it brings me back to that T-Trades box setup video. Aggressive down, aggressive up. Let's make sure that M and Q doesn't have like way bigger stop. I don't think it does. No, That's the same. Load up the contracts and just watch it go. If we can just close here, that'd be sick. It's gonna button right up to it. Don't just expand right through there. That would not be ideal. I'm gonna wait for the breaker confirmation. It used that IVG super nicely, but I'm gonna wait for the breaker confirmation because like we have a ton of we have this breaker and we have this high as well for it to close above. So I want to make sure I at least get one of the breakers to confirm before I get too crazy. Yeah, the problem that is this higher breaker is also a 50-minute for value gap. No, it's not YM. Gavin, can we have like the top of my screen showing where it has the ticker? Please and thank you. This is NQ. Yeah, if we could just zoom out on my screen a little bit, if that's possible, that'd be great. So they could see the time and price. And then maybe the top of my screen where it says where it has the symbol. Struggling to close above there. Typically one of two things happens here. It either just expands right through or it retraces and then closes above it. Make it a deep retracement. If it wants to be good and just like this isn't enough candles for me to be concerned about it failing to close above, it could just be like a small little stall. Like it's not at all. If it was way more than that, then I'd be concerned. But if we close above here, I'll set a limit. Not set a limit, I'll just be ready to buy the breaker. Technically, I could even buy it right at it. I'm just gonna go there, close prox entry. Seems like a big stop, but standard deviations can run you up to lunch high. So we'll be looking for us to get up here. A little bit of a ways to go. I might deal with some retracement, which I haven't decided yet. I don't think I'll add on it just because I've already taken a loss today. I'm not looking to get super aggressive, but and it's not a setup that I absolutely love in terms of it being the high probability setup, but we'll check it out. See what it wants to do. It's also a 5-minute breaker too. So closure above there on the 5-minute will grant us a little more confluence, if you will. A message. Gavin here. Okay. Less than a minute before this 5-minute candle closes. I mean, we could just see a really nice big expansion through all of these down close candles here. But remember, right? Problem is this 5-minute breaker is also a 15-minute for value gap, and we're seeing SMT inside of that. I'm not going to let that sway me, but yeah. Anyone else long? Anyone else take a stab? Okay, just closed. Took a stab ski. We got a couple people in here. Nice. All right, good luck, guys. Good luck, good luck. So what we're looking for is, yeah, I'm looking for us to just get up into these highs. See if we can get some juice. Get some juice up to the lunch high, standard deviations, and the high that we just missed. This is an old daily high from like fucking February, January. Yeah. Ways away. Mind you, this is with B adjust on. With B adjust off, we are above that high. So keep that in mind. Hang on here. Let me just. Raise to go, like and subscribe for your boy. I appreciate you, Slayer. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, like the stream, subscribe, click the bell. Don't miss another one. I'm streaming tomorrow. I got double stream tomorrow. I'm streaming AM with you a lot, and I'm streaming PM for some Friday fun. Maybe we'll have a couple beers in the PM session. Maybe not. Probably not. I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm joking. I'd get in trouble. Waiting for a retracement leg to trade from if I'm gonna take a stab. Yeah, that's fair, bro. That's fair. No, there will be no drinking on stream. Who's lagging behind? YM? Well, not really, but got some SMT there with YM. As it stands. Yeah. Keep her going. Keep sending it. We could get a 5-minute retracement into these gaps too. I'm not going to be shy about that. I will not be shy about that. There we go. That's better. That's better. Screen. I'm also like, is anyone else like kind of just like amazed at how we just got so bullish again so quick? Like, I know that like the macro backdrop isn't the be all end all, and like it's really not that important. But like yesterday, I actually had to like remind myself, like, okay, like, because I was thinking, I was like, okay, I try to keep, I mean, I'm no macro guy by any means, but like I like to learn and I like to kind of keep an eye on it because I learn that way. Um, like I was thinking, I was like, okay, CPI, like inflation has jumped up to 3.3%. Energy especially has now kind of joined. Oh, my tag's sticking out. Has kind of joined that inflation as well with the whole war going on in Iran, and like we have services also being inflated. So we have increasing inflation. Job market, I mean, is okay. It's not great. It hasn't been great for a while, and we have. So at the start of the year, I found a way to check on the Fed Watch tool to like see the history of like projected cuts. I might do a video on it because it actually is kind of interesting if any of you like to follow, interest rate backdrop and stuff like that. Um, we were kind of projected in the beginning of, I think, December 29th or like December 29th, the last trading day of the year, maybe the 31st. We were projected by the end of 2026 to have an average of 2.3 cuts. Um, that has since dropped. That probability has since dropped to now we are projected to have 0.35 to zero point 0.4 cuts based off of like expected value from like the percentages. Um, so we've had increased inflation by like almost a whole percent. I think maybe 2.4 to 3.3 is I think what we're at on CPI. Um, and our chances of two cuts this year has been completely eradicated. So like I was thinking, okay, interest rates are super important for the market. Inflation is a very direct, indicator of like the health of the economy. How are we this bullish? But then I kind of, did my thing, prompted AI and like kind of just like brainstormed with it. And it does make a lot of sense. Like kind of the conclusion that I came to in a roundabout way is that like those aren't the only things. That doesn't mean that like the market is bad. Cause like just because we're not getting cuts anymore, it doesn't mean that, we should be bearish. With the right context, yes, but like employment is still fine, growth is still happening, and earnings and multiples are still really good. So, plus like other things like liquidity, and overall like sentiment, I guess, is still, and like the AI sentiment is still really, really high. So, I think those things are carrying the market a lot better, especially with like the top companies. And like I guess credit is still not like in a crisis either. Like the only shock that we've had um is the war, really. That was the big shock. And it's basically like the same thing happened last year with tariffs. Um, right? We had a lot of, this and that and like a lot of half truths, right? A lot of half truths and like Trump going back and forth and like you had like the birth of taco and all that stuff and like we're seeing a lot of that this year and then the market just eventually forgets and then we just rip higher for longer. So something I was just learning about was just like it's kind of cool to see all the different areas and like to really understand like what the market actually cares about in this moment. Right now the market doesn't care about inflation because people are still, yes, things are getting more expensive in like the services and energy industry, but like people are still people are still buying stocks. People are still spending money. So like the stress test is still like not really, stressing them enough to stop spending on equities. Um, and just because like we're not having any sort of like quantitative easing, um, I mean, companies aren't really affected by these, stagnant interest rates and this, sticky inflation either. Like companies are still reporting really good earnings. Um, so it's kind of cool to like come from. I mean, I'm mainly just all technical analysis, um, but it's kind of cool to add a little bit of fundamental analysis into it as well, especially since I'm managing like my own long-term portfolio too. So I feel like it's cool to kind of keep track of all that stuff. But that's enough yap from me on that part. I might do a little video on like how to. I'd have to learn more about it because I'm not just gonna like learn something and then teach it. Like I want to like become better at it. So I'll play around with some stuff. I might post some content on it. Um, but yeah. Sorry, late. Did I already miss your cookie recipe? No, you didn't, Dylan. That's why I was laughing when you said that. No, you came for the world's best cookie recipe, did you? Well, now you got to go to my X page and stay tuned there. No, I'm joking. Can I plug links in here if I can? No, I think I can. Yeah, if you actually want it, it's a banging cookie recipe. So good. Such a good recipe. um, so we still got that SMT with YM. Failed to close above that fair value gap, so we're kind of respecting it as well as the 930 open and the midnight open. And now we're forming this breaker. If it confirms it, I'm just gonna let it ride. I'm gonna stick with the high time from here. But preferably I'd like to see us just fail this, sweep it, and then continue higher. Because it's also a 5 minute for value gap, right? So it's just tapping into that 5 minute breaker again. And then we could send from there. That would be the best case scenario for me. Because like obviously we run into the if this breaker confirms on the one with this 15-minute high S&T with YM, we kind of run into the issue of a 1 minute breaker working against us against this current 1 minute breaker that we're in, but we do have high time frame still on our side. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna cause me to exit, but it can become a con to the trade, if that makes sense. I didn't notice that either. We tapped that -4 standard deviations of the 5 minute breaker perfectly as well. We love to see that. I'd like to see this hourly candle close like with a big wick rejection and then see 3 p.m. just kind of expand us higher. Especially like I want to see this hourly for value gap get respected. Preferably. Okay, there. Yeah. Still, it's just going to remain in the back of my head that we could very well retrace this expansion and kind of come back into a discount spot, rebalance some of these inefficiencies, and then go higher. Or I could just be wrong too, which obviously is always a possibility, but that would be kind of what I'm looking for. So yeah, it's just at the most, just retrace, expand. Or the longer it sits here and consolidates, the more I like that we may not get a deep retracement because it could just consolidate and expand again. You got 5 minutes left on the hourly candle. What's up, bro? How you doing? Justin, right? Justin? I see Justin there. I remember I've had this problem before where I didn't know how to say I didn't want to say your name as it was. It didn't make any sense to me. Call you Jay. See a J next to you right there. So there's that 1 minute breaker confirmed. But I'm gonna fade. Fade that. Good. Took a 1 minute, 50 minute earlier, chilling for the rest of the day. Nice, dude. Nice. Good to hear. How's my day? Not too bad. Got fucked around a little bit in the morning. Was short off a nice, this nice 9:30 expansion, kind of up here right off of midnight. Missed my TP by like 3 ticks, so kind of brutal that way. And then tried longs off this lunch low SMT, and then got cooked on that. And I'm currently long at the moment. Um, so market's kind of being fickle right now, but we're good. No problem at all. No problem at all. I'd also really like if we could just come immediately invalidate this breaker that confirmed and just rip through it. That would be another, you know, pro for me. A good confluence. We might have caught ourselves in a little bit of a snoozer too. Minute 20 till the hour's over. See if 3 p.m. can give us a juicer. Keep it on that line. You want to see that not get closed below for this hourly candle. Okay. Decent hourly closure. T3, like I said, just wants to give us a little more juice. It's that previous hourly high there too. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. This is good. Yeah, juice it up. Juice it up. Give me a win. Where's my BE? Probably not unless we get, you know, the earliest would be like we get up above current PM high. Maybe we get some like SMT up here, and then I might go BE to like anticipate further expansion. But no, now I don't want to say it again, Slayer, because I think I know what it sounds like when I say it. I can't say it any other way. I was even thinking in my head. I was even I was even thinking in my head um, what it sounds like. I was like, I don't know how I can make it sound different. Indicator name is this T trades? No. Which indicator? Like the one that labels the times? Because that is TFO. ICT kill zones and pivots by TFO. It's a free indie. I don't use any of T Trade's indicators. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, we're starting to see a nice expansion on 3 here. 3 kind of opened up and immediately began expanding. It'd be pretty tight if it could do that. Just keep going for us. Sitting at about less than just over half our profit. Gonna need a little more than that. Expect a small retrace, but looks Gucci. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm still, I mean, I'm still not counting out the retrace, but I'll be happy either way. Management is all we can do is just kind of, I like that we confirmed this breaker and then it just ripped. Looks like 4 hour is set to expand lower. What makes you bullish here? Was it the hard bounce back on the previous 1 hour? To me, the 4 hour doesn't look like it's ready to expand lower. Um, sure, this 4 hour failed to close below or close above the London high, but it's still closed bullish. We have some 4 hour low SMT with YM, PM low SMT with YM, 15-minute breaker that hasn't met projections. And this down move here doesn't have a single, there's no high time frame breaker here. The closest breaker that you have would be like a 5 minute. And like, yeah, it does take you down here, but like I'm not trading a 5 minute breaker as a reversal. I'll trade it for like you could have traded it for a retracement back into the leg, but um probabilities just aren't stacked in my favor for shorts. I think this is just retracement back into discount hourly and 15-minute for value gap for a further dig higher. Do I mainly like 15-minute breakers? Yeah, um the 15-minute is kind of like my bellwether chart. I use it for a lot of my narrative. I think the 15-minute chart removes like a lot of the blur. Like I like it better than the hourly. I like it better than the 5 minute. It's a good time frame to use. Like if I could only trade one time frame for the rest of my life, it would be the 15 minute, hands down. I would use it for everything. It's just the time frame that does it for me. You know? And yeah, especially breakers. Yeah. Because like even just like utilizing time frame alignment, like when you have a 4 hour swing, like technically yes, this is a 4 hour swing because it's a 4 hour candle that failed to close above a previous 4 hour candle high, but it's not like the highest probability swing. Like it's not like this 4 hour swing from London. This is way better because it actually closed bearish. It swept the high first and closed bearish. And what you'll notice is it actually created a 15-minute breaker with it. And that 15-minute breaker had some nice projections that got met and then some, right? So this 4 hour quote unquote swing that is lower probability because it didn't close bearish. It opened low and closed high still above its open. So it's still bullish. It's a bullish candle. It's a bullish print. Um, and it doesn't have a 15-minute bearish breaker to kind of accompany any sort of confirmation of the swing. Because with a high time frame swing, you got to have a breaker that's correlated or like corresponding with its time frame alignment. So like this hourly swing, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock hourly swing, open, high, sweep the previous AM high, create SMT, close low. With that, you want a 5 minute breaker accompanied with it, which you have right here. And you also have this one down here. So you want the breaker to be in combination with the swing to actually confirm that it's a valid swing. That makes sense? Yeah, that's just how I always viewed it. Breakers are very important for me to kind of confirm swings, confirm anything for that matter. Still hasn't stopped snowing either. I like living here. I like living here. I like living here. When's it supposed to stop? No, it's supposed to stop in an hour. Then I can go shovel. Dumping up there? Yeah, dude. Like close to a foot and a half of snow since this morning. Crazy. We had no snow yesterday and it was like plus 15. Mother Nature is testing us, testing me. Yeah, like I said earlier, we might just be caught in a little bit of a snoozer. Mm. What prop do you trade with, or are you on personal? Tradeify right now. I really don't want to be stuck looking at the 1 minute. I'm just going to stay on the 5 and 15. Staying on the 1 minute that long can make a man go crazy. Where do you put your stop loss? I put my stop loss at the low that is formed by the breaker block. So for this specific long that I'm in, my stop loss is at the actual low. Here's the breaker. But yeah, stop loss goes at the low of the breaker. So here's kind of the swing low to swing high. The low, the manipulation, that's the invalidation point. Anywhere else is a lower probability stop. It's obviously a little bit of a bigger stop, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'd rather be safe, have a safer stop with a higher probability of the trade working out than get a couple more R, personally. That's just me, though. Need that no more. So, for any of you who joined late, I am currently long on NQ after this retracement here at 2 o'clock. We had some hourly low SMT that was maintained with YM. YM being the bullish one that formed the failure swing. And then we had a 1 minute and 5 minute breaker confirmed, just looking for us to get back up into these highs and these standard deviations here from the 1 minute breaker. This high just failed to tag an old daily high from like January. Right here. So I'd like to see us go run that. We shall see. If no, then that's fine. If you guys like the stream, though, please like and subscribe if you'd be so kind. Oh, excuse me. Helps the stream out. We're still fairly new to the whole streaming on YouTube, but we like positive feedback, negative feedback, whatever kind of feedback we can get. If you guys like the stream, then let us know by clicking that like button. And you can subscribe and click the bell, and you will not miss another stream. We stream Monday to Friday, London session, AM session, PM session. Nikki, what's up, Nikki? How you doing? Good to see you. Long time no speak. I guess, well, you've been in my previous streams, but it's been a while since I caught up with you. How are things going? See you later, Jay. Have a good one, brother. I have been informed that we're also live on Twitter. Oh, we are. Okay. Well, hello there, Twitter as well, or X. Thank you guys for tuning in. I was not aware that we were streaming on X as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know. Is there a comment? Is there a comments box or a chat box? I don't think so. No. There is not. Thought maybe if someone had any questions, they might have typed in the chat there. Glad to connect at least on here. Yeah, for sure. Super nice to catch up. Nice to catch up with everyone. I'll be here plenty of times per week, at least 2 to 3 times a week. I'll have a stream segment in here. Tomorrow I'll be here for the AM session and the PM session as well. So you're always more than welcome to come hang out. You're back. Good comms. Good comms, Slayer. I think the snow is getting to my missus. She came in the room and informed me that we are selling our house and moving because of the snow. So it was a good 3 weeks. It's been a good 3 weeks being here, but we got a dip. Going somewhere hot. Hopefully some stuff is still in boxes. Oh, brother, no, we are 95% unpacked. We have more stuff than we already moved in with. Just got to hold on for another week and a half. I guess, yeah, just under 2 weeks. Or no. Yeah, just under 3 weeks. Going to Vancouver at the end of the month for a week, so the weather will be a little better over there. Oh, well, I would, yeah. I don't blame her. So I'll shovel. Hopefully I can, once the stream's over, hopefully I can get out there and shovel the driveway before she gets back. So she doesn't have to trudge through snow. PM doing what PM does. Well, I guess yesterday's PM session was rather clean. Good expansion. Be nice if we can get that again, but it's looking like it wants to just be like it just wants to take it easy today. Take the afternoon off. Some previous hourly high SMT now with ES and YM. How long have you been trading? How did you approach it since the start? What led you to profitability? Been trading for about 4 years. How did I approach it since the start? I approached it just like everyone else did, blindly and a little bit scared. It was the first while was like running around like a chicken with its head cut off, just not knowing where to go, where to start. Finding ICT was a big step for me because it gave me a little bit of structure at least. But then from there, then you have all the ICT language that I mean we all know. If any of you have studied any sort of ICT content, you know that it's like drinking through a fucking fire hydrant. So you're overwhelmed with the amount of content that comes with his logic. So it's about learning that language. But leading me to profitability was just learning how to get out of my own way and like understanding the difference between, you know, valid and invalid trades and that emotions typically um, do not need to be acted on. That's kind of the biggest thing. A lot of yous know how to trade already. It's it's the emotions that get in the way and usually causes some form of self sabotage. Uh, because if you look at all of the common problems that traders experience that hold them from being profitable, it's going to be, you know, you're over trading, revenge trading, being afraid to take a trade, so you're like missing out. You have opportunity cost. Um, Over risking, under risking. They all kind of stem from fear and greed, which are basically just like acting on emotions, right? So, and getting in your own way. Obviously, there are some people who just like who may follow all their rules to a T, but like their model is just shit. I'm not saying that like any model that someone comes up with works. That's not what I'm saying. It's hard to build a model with an edge and find that edge, but um, once you have it, that's just the first part. You got to then execute it and be consistent and not be a dickhead. That's a whole other ball game. That's the hard part. So, so yeah, getting out of your own way. It's different for everyone though. Everyone's got different things. Some people kind of have a problem with, you know, focusing on the outcome and not focusing on the process. They're outcome oriented. That can lead to a lot of problems. Some people are reckless and treat it like gambling. Other people are just, you know, downright pussies and they just like don't ever like rise to the occasion to like see their full potential too, which is fair. I mean, it's all fair. It's understandable. You're doing one of the hardest things. This is one of the hardest jobs in the world in terms of like consi- finding consistency. You're going up against some of the greatest minds with the deepest pockets and the most years of experience. That's who you're trading alongside and against, right? So, and it's also um, a field that is uh, heavily saturated with fake fucking people, and scammers, and LARPs, and alike. So it's very easy to be misguided. Very easy indeed. But I am still much like you guys, a student, still learning more. I learn more every day. I don't think I'll ever stop learning, as the alternative is thinking that I know everything, and then that's exactly when the market will humble you, or you'll humble yourself, which is also a likely scenario. So yeah, that's my rant. As we sit through this chop fest, pardon me. Sorry, how rude of me to yawn. Thought the coffee would eliminate that. Kind of just sitting, sitting in this range. We've got this SMT kicking around at the previous hourly high. YM and ES both. Coming up on 3:30. Maybe we get a little bit of a spool out of here. Holding up above 50%. Kind of meandering at these opening prices of 8:30, 9:30, and midnight. We have flipped them on the 15. So if we can just use these to kind of propel, it'd be nice. But we gotta get up. We gotta get some giddy up here if we're gonna get up to our target. Space is full of furus. High discerning ability will save months. Agreed. It's very hard. It's very hard to know when someone's pulling the wool over your eyes, especially as a beginner. But the more time you spend kind of in the space and around traders, you kind of realize who's full of shit and who's not. Anyone that's selling you a dream or makes things seem easier than they are, a lot of the time they are going to be furus and LARPs. So be careful who you give your money to. Good telltale sign is someone who never shows a loss or supposedly never takes a loss. That's a good place to start. If you want to go LARP hunting. Here's 3:30. I guess 2 minutes passed already. Do I think solid, trustworthy traders who offer services should live stream? I think they shouldn't be afraid to live stream. I don't think part of the services they offer necessarily has to be live streams. If that makes sense. Like doing what I'm doing here. Like I don't think it's a I think um it's definitely like a bonus, but I'll say that like they shouldn't have like it's not that they should never live stream. Like they should never shy away from it. So like if they're making excuses of like why they can't, then like probably want to, you know, raise some red flags for that. But I don't think they have to. A lot of people are going that way though. Like a ton of people are going that direction. And like I'm speaking like strictly just from like facts. Like we in the lab, like when we were still still had our Discord, like our monthly Discord, we were one of like the first like ICT based Discords that like live streamed every day. Like we wanted to make sure that we were like trading in a live environment and like having um that proof of like what's the word? I don't know. Can't remember the word. Basically like showing that we're not fucking faking anything, you know? And then it was a good thing because like a lot of other groups started doing it as well. And yeah, credibility. Yeah, that's a good yeah. I don't there's another word. Proof of concept. But credibility, yeah, exactly. So and then I think it kind of created a snowball effect because I mean, I personally had no influence on it, I don't think. It was more so Kane and Alex, they have more influence. Kane especially um really wanted to make sure that like we're streaming live and we're like showing that we're credible. Cuz like if you're if you know how to trade and like you can navigate the markets and like you have something to show and like you're not a complete fraud who's like claiming to be this, that, and the other thing, like prove it on live stream. Like what's the difference? You're gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be doing this anyway. Like if I'm trading the PM session, I'm gonna be doing this exact thing anyway. It's just I'm now doing it with you guys and we get to chat. So like the pressure's there for sure. Like there is a little bit of like, pressure, but like that goes away over time. But then more people started doing it, more people started live streaming and I think that was a good thing for the space. I think it was good to have, the people that you look up to actually like get to see them live and do it, not hide behind a massive paywall just to like provide signals or whatever. So, but like I said, I don't think it's a I don't think it's a requirement or it's like a red flag if they don't. Because like some people are busy and like or some people just like aren't good with an audience either. So. Good to have you back, Slayer. Good comms. Do you stream live every day? I personally don't stream live every day, but us at the Lab Live, we do stream live Monday to Friday, London session, AM session, and PM session. So trading every day? No, I don't trade every day. This is my first trading day of the week. Not because I didn't want to, but due to circumstance. I was working. I was working Monday. Tuesday, I was busy and couldn't trade. Yesterday, I was working, and today I'm off, and tomorrow I'm off. So I'm not a full-time trader. Much love. Yes, back to you. Same to you. There's something to be said to hear thoughts in the present moment. Yeah, I agree. If there's one thing, like the one thing that I get good feedback on and like that people enjoy about, seeing, I mean, my live streams personally is like it's not the technical analysis, it's not the, you know, get to take my trades. It's more or less just like getting to see like how I, deal with shit when things go wrong, or like just how you kind of like have that thought process. Um, like I could, like if I take a loss on stream, which happens a lot, like obviously it's always going to be more than you want, but I've taken losses on here and like just be able to like show that like taking a loss is okay. That's kind of those are the valuable moments. It's not always going to be like the winners aren't like the best, the best learning moments. It's usually like seeing like, okay, how does this guy handle taking a loss? How does he handle when like his back's against the wall and like shit just isn't going right? That's when you really want to see who's live streaming. Um, we're still just grinding higher here. We're not getting the expansive move, like the quick move that I wanted to see, but nonetheless, it's still moving. I want to see us delete that hourly high SMT. Yeah, very slow. Very slow indeed. Very, very slow indeed. I appreciate you all tuning in, though. We've got 22 in here, but we've also got 85 on X. It'd be nice if we could get everyone from X over to the YouTube. That'd be cool. But happy to have you here nonetheless. It's always nice to have you guys come hang out with me because these PM sessions can get pretty boring. Only came for the mustache. Yeah. Yeah. Just a piece of meat. I know. Come for the technical analysis and the trading. Stay for the mustache. It's going to be my mantra. Pretty much it, yeah. What'd you say? We'll be closing at current PM high for a 2R if we get there. It's looking pretty good. Maybe we can get a spool up above there. Up above this previous hourly high. We got 1550 coming along. For those of you who know about the 1550 little market on close macro. Maybe we can get a little bit of a spool up for that. It's rare that I'm in a trade when 350 comes along. Very rare. But when I am, sometimes it's fun. I've had some bangers with 350. It's fun. Especially when you're on the like if it actually wants to like move with haste to a draw, it makes it pretty fun. It gives you that last little bit of expansion to close out the day. And like we have a good scenario in which like a draw wasn't met by way of like we didn't take this old liquidity from January 28th, just missed it. So like 350 could just expand us up. That's when it works best, in my opinion, is when the draw or a draw hasn't been met that can likely be met. What would even be? I don't think the R would be great. We took it to PM high, it'd be like, yeah, 1.3. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the lunch high. That's what I want to see. Get me in there. In there like swimwear. Lunch high SMT now. 342. Lunch high SMT. I'll watch it. We knew that could be a possibility of it happening, right? YM failed to take its AM high. Now it's taking its lunch high. So it's kind of taking its, version of liquidity. No confirmation yet, though. That's what I'll wait for. It's a good chance I'll probably go break even because, like, we're almost at the end of the day. I can't hold this past the close anyway. So kind of just looking for us to continue up here to just ignore that SMT because we've just been ignoring other SMTs too. Not that lunch SMT is lower, on the totem pole. It's definitely more important than just like a previous hourly high SMT. But I want to see us just continue here. For my sake. For anyone's sake who's long, that's what you want to see. I'll probably just move to break even here. We got some SMT. It's close to the end of the day. Lose out on fees. If this breaker confirms, then makes things look kind of bleak. But it's either going to be BE or W for me. I'm not going to close early. I want to give it the room, as much room as I can without, obviously, I'm not like leaving my stop in an area where I can lose, but BE or nothing. Then it'll just be like one loss and two BEs on the day, which I'm cool with. Yeah, just rip. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. See where we get. I'm targeting lunch high, but like it all depends on where we're at in the next, 10 minutes or so. PM high is definitely a spot, but it's not, it's only 1.3 R for me. I'd rather hold through and see if we can get an expansion up above at 350. But PM high is fair. But based on where my entry and stop loss was and like where my risk is at, PM high isn't exactly, worth it for me. When are we getting merch? I don't know, dude. I don't even have lab merch, so talk to Kane or Alex. We have some stuff. I don't know if we have enough stock to give out or whatever. But yeah, I'd talk to the bosses about that. I just work here, man. I'm just a measly floor trader. Oh, is Microsoft's at 420? Fuck. I missed my. I love Microsoft up to these highs here. Little breaker there. Little weekly breaker. Standard deviations take you right to those highs. Those are all-time highs too. Might be looking for buys. Longer term buys with earnings coming up on the 29th of April. Get us up into these equal highs. Minute 40 till 350 macro. Yeah, I was looking at Microsoft here. I was looking to do calls. Yesterday, I was actually looking to do calls into like the 420s and then some. But they were pretty expensive. I should have really been in them down here. But it might just be a long-term buy. I like Microsoft. 35% retracement. Like, yeah, that's pretty good. I gotta add some individual stocks to my portfolio. Nvidia, Microsoft, etc., etc. Okay. 30 seconds till 350. I'm just looking for it to like give us a nice pop and like maybe lead, give us a little bit of liquidity to kind of continue to pump, a little bit of volume to pump higher up above the PM high. And then once we get above PM high, we can just send it. Get as much as we can off the bone here. Okay. See how it shakes out. There we go. Has to sustain though. That little pop of volume there is meaningless without proper closure. So at 350, you see something like that. And then at 355, you sometimes get another pop like this too, where you get like just a bigger candle. Kind of increased volatility, I guess. Confirming breakers is obviously a no-no for us on the downside. I want to see us just continue to expand higher without much breaker confirmation. Like I said, though, it's not gonna get me out. It's just because we have like this guy, we have that guy. We have so many potential breakers. Like we know what happened earlier when we had a 1 minute breaker here. It just got ran through. So we'll just let it do its thing. It's either going to be BE or we get up into an area where like we're close to the close, and then I can just kind of close out in better profit than we are right here. Or maybe it stalls and I close out around here. I'll be out by 4. But we're in the final, 5-10 minutes of the stream. If you guys enjoyed the stream, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Makes me feel good about myself. Yeah, it makes me feel good about myself. That's about it. But yeah, I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Truly, I don't do it for the likes or the subscriptions or anything like that. I truly do it because I, enjoy kind of being part of a cool community, and you guys make that community cool. So I appreciate you guys being here with me, asking questions, keeping things engaged. Makes trading more fun. Makes showing up to the desk a little more exciting. It's kind of like, what's the chat gonna say today? You know. Thank you to the viewers on X as well. You guys are goated. And thank you to you guys here over at the YouTube for tuning in and hanging out with me today through a otherwise boring, boring session. I joined when you left. Sad. I'm still here. I'm still here. You got a few minutes with me. Oh, Slayer said he's gonna make some calls, and still here and still in NQ longs. That'd be nice. Make that call. We're kind of stuck here though. Things could just be dried up. Yeah, these trades suck, dude. You just like don't go anywhere. Your confirmation comes so fast, and then like you're in the trade and it's just gonna chop you. Not chop you, but like just like move sideways and grind. These are the trades that like I would go out and shovel the fucking driveway instead of watch this. But rather hang out here, chat with you guys too. So like I said, sometimes 355 delivers that kind of second pop. So maybe we get that. We haven't confirmed any sort of breakers or anything to the downside off of this lunch high SMT. So we'll see. Yeah, see. There's 355 doing what it does. If it just pops up and just rejects again, I'm probably just gonna close out, to be fair. I'm not gonna try to milk it, It'll be just a 1 hour trade, and that's totally fine. Basically end my day break even. Try again tomorrow. So I'll wait another minute or so, and then we'll call it. Hmm. Yeah, this is just going to be stuck. I'm going to call it here, guys. We went pretty much the full 2 hours here. I think we've got what we came here for the most part. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow morning for the AM stream. I think I'm going to be here at 8 a.m. Eastern. Let me double check and make sure. I think it's 8 a.m. Eastern. No. Oh, yes, 8 a.m. Yeah, 8 a.m. Eastern. So I'll be here tomorrow morning, bright and early for the pre-market. And then I will be here for the PM session. So you got me twice tomorrow. So you're going to close the long. Yeah, I'm probably going to just wait a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm going to call it though, because I got to go shovel. So thank you guys for tuning in. Still in my long. Going to just kind of wait it out a little bit longer because maybe 4 p.m. will deliver us a little bit more. Being a little greedy on that. But yeah, I will chat with you guys later. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye. Appreciate you all. Love you. Bye.